Osh, how's it going, mate?
Good, mate. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, pleasure, mate. I appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, thank you.
Obviously, we spoke on Instagram a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you know about this, mate, but we had a chat before, off air, Hollywood style. We had a chat beforehand, and the reason that I do this is I like to hear people's struggles, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
But I also like to offer advice and also listen to the help and advice that you can give as well.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of people struggling in this world, more so than we know. And I want people to understand that they're not alone. Then, there's other, you're a boxer. People would look at boxers as like a pillar of strength, solidity, this get through it, this can-do attitude, but at the same time, you've just told me that you still struggle with anxiety majorly.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is just learn a little bit about you, where sort of your early days, childhood experiences, teenage experiences, how you got into boxing, and we'll go from there, and we'll just work it up until today, mate. So
yeah, absolutely. It's funny you should say that, because like I say, I'm a retired boxer now, and I talk more candidly now, and I'm more open about stuff, because I felt that when I was boxing, I couldn't talk about certain things because you could come off as mentally weak or mentally vulnerable. And when I think back, what a silly, naive way to look at things. I used to actually speak to Vinny Shawman. I don't know if you've heard of Vinny. So Vinny does the sports psychology and whatnot, and he did a lot of work with Liam Harrison.
Yeah, I know
boxing
Liam
and stuff.
Harrison.
Yeah, so I used to actually speak to him prior to my fights and stuff. And I remember there was one fight I really didn't want to fucking do, and I was in the hotel room and I was FaceTiming him, and he I owe him a lot. He got me through it because I really didn't want to do it at the time. That was my last professional fight, actually. It was one of them where I just knew I didn't want to do it anymore. And going back to the start, really, I started when I was very young, about 6 or 7 years old. My dad took me down to a gym in Rill, and it was the first sport I'd really done where I actually got a bit of positive attention, and I could feel that I was getting a bit of positive attention from an adult, which was quite new to me. I played a bit of football, and I was all
Record it. Is it? Yeah. They are.
Where was we?
Introvert. You were a bit of an introvert.
Yeah, it was a bit of an introvert. I think boxing gave me a bit of a confidence to be a bit more outgoing, not just in boxing, but in everything. I'd become a bit more sociable. My dad had left home about, I was 6, 7 years old. So it sort of coincided with the boxing, funnily enough. There was no particular thought process with that. That was just pure coincidence. And it just gave me a bit more confidence about myself, to just be a bit more outgoing. And what boxing does for most people, and I think it does for most people, majority of people in a boxing gym, 95% are decent lads. They're not looking for trouble. And what it teaches you is to be able to walk away from trouble. That's actually what it does teach you. So not only does it stop you being bullied, but it stops you being the bully as well.
Discipline.
Yeah, absolute discipline. And, we had a couple of coaches at the time, a fella called Jack Baker, who sadly passed away now, and he was the one who took a bit of time with me and, give me a bit of time. And I was there for a number of years. It was called Palace ABC at the time in Rill on the Res. And, I had some really, really happy times there before I moved to Manchester. Yeah.
It's funny that that you said there that boxing was the first time you felt like you got any positive attention.
Yeah.
Well, it's not funny, but I guess I was waiting, and then obviously you said that your father left when you were a kid.
Yeah.
There's something called like emotion. It sounds horrible. Emotional abandonment.
Okay. Yeah.
So when parents separate,
Yeah.
the child will become. They will lose that emotion. Not lose it, but it will become less and less. That emotional attachment to the parent that leaves the home, and obviously with it being the dad, the male figure.
Yeah.
As young boys, we crave the attention of our father.
Yeah, definitely.
My dad was non-existent in my life as a child. We're friends now, friends, but don't really see each other as father and son. It's more like friends. And so I can relate to that, mate, because for a long time when I was a child, all I wanted was my dad to turn up and and tell me he loves me and he's going to be there. And it when we were talking before about the nervous system, it creates this angst,
definitely
this feeling of worry
definitely.
So I can totally relate to that, mate. And yeah, you know, Manchester. So that's what, so when you
Yeah, it's funny you should say that though. Just touching back on that about what you said regarding my dad. 'Cause I've been asked to do a talk in a school, which I'm going to do in a couple of weeks. Jamie, who put me on to you, has asked me to do it. Yeah. And I've started writing out what I'm going to say, and you don't really know what when someone's asked you to write about your life, it's fucking hard to like go back to the start and actually go. And the one of the things I remember is the day my mum told me that my dad wasn't living with us anymore, and I was only young, but I can remember even at that age going, life's not going to be the same ever again now, and having that sort of like feeling. And I think that's where the boxing sort of came in, because I wanted to look after my mum and my little sister. So it was me, my mum, my sister in the house. And it's so funny you should say the relationship with your dad, because me and my dad are very good friends now, very good mates. And he was always been me mate. And I think there's a lot of father-sons who were mates. Sometimes you just need a fucking dad. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's really, and then me and him have a great relationship now, because I've got a little boy and I see how much he loves my son, and that has just sort of like transcended into our relationships being better. But yeah, I just thought I'd touch on that. Sorry, yeah.
It's that like you said it yourself, the validation of the people around us. We want to be validated as kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then obviously you said that you met somebody in the boxing environment that sort of, I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, but almost became that father figure.
Yeah, every gym you go to, that can happen.
Yeah. And definitely. I think for me it was my granddad. He became I call him my dad. Do you know what I mean?
Mega.
But I'll put a pound to a penny. That's where the anxiety stems from.
Yeah.
So that can be the main focus of, like you said before, you struggle with anxiety.
Yeah.
We only struggle with anxiety because we already know anxiety.
That's it. I think it's a lot of different things. And then I see people, because I was having this conversation with a friend the other day, and he said, "What are you anxious about?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "I could be by the pool on holiday, sat with my missus, my son happy as a pig and shit, but I just feel it." And there's people out there, you look at it and you think, fucking hell, they must be anxious. And they're not. They're just absolutely happy going through life, and their life can be quite chaotic and turmoil wherever they turn, but they're just quite happy. Because I said today in a video, I go to the gym and I go home.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else. I'm teetotal. I go home and that is my life. And I quite like, it's the happiest I've been living like that, funnily enough. I know I keep going off topic a little bit, but when I was boxing, you always have to put yourself out there and sell yourself on social media and try and sell tickets and vlogs. I hated it, mate. I hated that part of having to like force feed people, enforced fun, I always call it. Yeah, trying to force people to come to your fights and stuff. And I found that bit a bit difficult. Some people are a bit ruthless with it and they're quite happy to do all that, but it weren't for me, that.
Yeah.
It weren't for me. And it's all about the ticket sales. It's all they're mad about. Yeah. Yeah. Shame.
Do you know, again, we spoke before, do you know what anxiety is?
I've done a bit of research on what it is, and what I read was you have to identify it. There is somewhere along the lines where it has come from.
Absolutely.
From. Obviously, you've just touched on it then about, potential abandonment issues. Obviously, I spoke briefly about where I think it came from. I can sort of pinpoint, and maybe it was always there, sort of lying dormant. And then somebody just wakes it up, isn't it? Somebody just wakes it up and it goes, right, I'm here, by the way.
So the way I describe it to people who, and I'm not saying you don't know it. No. So the way I describe it is, there was once a tiger in the room with you.
Yeah.
That tiger goes, you carry on with life, but then something else will happen and you'll feel like the tiger's in the room with you.
Okay.
So a tiger would obviously rip you to pieces.
Yeah.
In the old days, caveman days, hunter-gatherer days, the only time a human being would feel anxious is when it was being chased by a fucking animal that was going to eat him.
Yeah.
I.e. tigers, bears, whatever. That's where sort of this anxious fight or flight response stems from originally, hunter-gatherer times. And it was only 5 minutes ago as people, as a human species, that we were hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
Say 5 minutes ago, but in the grand scheme of the world, it was 5 minutes ago. So it's something similar with humans and spiders.
Yeah.
People can be afraid of spiders, but don't know why. It's just that it's almost genetics.
Yeah, I never understood that. I never really understood why people were...
Because spiders used to kill us in hunter-gatherer days.
It is, yeah, okay.
In the jungle.
I get tarantula and stuff. I'd be fucking scared. You know when you see people like little spiders?
I'm terrified of them.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's mad, that.
Yeah, I don't know why I can see a spider and I'm like, I'll burn this fucking room to the ground. But it's the simplest way of understanding like an anxiety is...
Yeah.
You once experienced the tiger in the room with you.
Yeah.
And then as the years have gone on, like you said there, it's almost lay dormant until almost another tiger's been in the room maybe.
Yeah,
and then you've gone back to that same emotion.
Yeah.
Because we only know anxiety because we've dealt with it in the past.
That's it.
Unknowingly maybe. And I'm yet to hear anybody speak about addiction, alcoholism, mental health, suicide issues, who haven't experienced some form of trauma, whether it be physical, emotional, psychological.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer, mate. I'm in that addiction isn't as a disease. It's a response to pain and suffering. It's a trauma response.
Inherent.
Just so you experience a pain in your life, whatever that may be, whether it's emotional abandonment, because that is a form of trauma in the body. Trauma isn't what happens to us. It's what happens inside us.
Okay, yeah.
It's the response to trauma. So people handle trauma a lot better. Some people handle it really badly.
Yeah.
Might take me and my girlfriend, for instance. She's had some really difficult moments, similar to mine.
Yeah.
She never touched a drug in her life. I believe it's a very multifaceted issue, like a chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Different layers. But I'm yet to hear anybody say, I had a fucking fantastic life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My life.
And most people, you're absolutely right. The majority of people you meet, it'd be very rare for someone to say, yeah, my life was absolutely perfect and I've ended up in this situation. No, I completely agree. It is a form of abuse, isn't it? Self-abuse. You know, you are
self-abandonment.
Yeah, you're harming yourself, aren't you? You know, I've got a very addictive personality, and that's why I've stayed away as much as I can from things. And because even now, I don't trust myself. I don't trust it to the extent where one leads to the other, that leads to something else, and you can be like Alice in Wonderland. You could go down the fucking rabbit hole. Do you know what I mean? And I always try, and I think the best thing for me, this is why I go home, and this is why I go to the gym. I have to push myself to exhaustion. I'm actually the lightest I've been in a long, long time, and that's because I have to push myself to exhaustion just so I can sleep. Because if I go to bed, it could be something really futile that's wound me up, and I could be up then all night. So I have to push myself to absolute exhaustion in some capacity. Like, even though I'm a PT now, I'm happily retired from boxing, I still end up probably sparring 40 rounds a week. I probably still run 25 miles a week. I still train, and it's funny because I hated training when I was boxing, and now I quite enjoy training. I spent years hating it, and that's why I ballooned up in weight, I think, between fights a lot. But again, I did a video about this. I think that's a form of self-harm, and we've seen it very recently. So sad with Ricky Hatton. Devastating. And I think, fuck me, when you think now, it must have been a cry for fucking help. The way, the state he used to get himself into, the drinking, and it was always, because he was such a happy-go-lucky character, it probably masked it, didn't it? Although people knew he had mental health, it was, here's Ricky, he's having another pint and he's having this, and he's probably fucking crying for help, man.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
So, a few things there.
Yeah.
One, I'm a big believer in that. When people have, and let's be honest, the majority of the world have dealt with trauma in one way, shape or form.
Yeah.
Pain, suffering. There's two ways we can deal with the pain and suffering. We can run away from a problem.
Yeah.
Or we can run away from a problem, or we can find purpose. We can find a solution. So you can keep running away from the tiger for the rest of your life, or you can find the gun that shoots the fucking tiger.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in that. A lot of people who struggle with relapse, struggle with addiction for years and years and years, are constantly running away from the problem, not running towards a solution.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, I'm not going to say you're either or, because I don't know enough about you. But it sounds to me that you're you've already answered it before we came on. You still struggle with the anxious part of it.
Yeah.
again, there could be a piece of you still running away from a problem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You might have a lot of solutions in your life from a fitness and physical perspective.
Yeah.
But inevitably, it's all in
Definitely.
there, right?
And that's where discipline comes into it again, where I can get up in the morning, I can go, feeling shit today. I can feel it. But then obviously, you know yourself as a man, you got your partner, you got your son, you got your bills, you got your job, and you've sort of got to go a little bit, right, okay, I'm going to park that for a bit. And how I'm going to deal with that, how I've dealt with loads of things like this when I've lost someone, when I've gone through breaks up. I've just made myself really busy, whether that's pushing myself to the brink of exhaustion, physically, mentally, making sure I was always doing something. So not actually facing up to stuff, but probably masking over it until the feeling's gone and going, right, okay, well, I'm all right with that now because I've just been super busy for 2 or 3 months. I've got over it. I think when I lost my nana, like my nana was like another mum to me. Yeah. I think I was always of the mindset, when my nana goes, I'm going to go off the rails. I'm going to absolutely go off the rails. I'm going to be this person. I'm going to have 6 months having a mad one. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't care who I hurt or what happens in that time. Luckily, by that point, my son was born. So I couldn't be that person. I couldn't afford to be that person. I had to be a reliable provider for him and for my partner and for the house and for the mortgage. I couldn't afford to go, right, I've got to stop being selfish, really. It's not just about me anymore. If I don't come home or if I don't turn up or if I go off the rails, it's not just affecting me. It's affecting everyone else around me. And that's another thing I was going to sort of talk about or touch on today, and live in a mad world, don't we, with regards to like, I think, everyone's presented, aren't they? So in a sense where like, I think heterosexual working class males are the most poorly represented by the outside world. And like, we're so poorly represented by people. I feel like we've got no rights. We're at the bottom of the food chain. If we say anything, if I say anything regarding, masculinity, oh, you're far right. Or your toxic masculinity, or if I say, I don't want a man to go in a women's toilet, you're a leftist, or you're transphobic. Like, we live in such a fucking mad world. I touched on this the other day, and even now, I don't want to say too much about it.
Say what you want,
because you get fucking people don't like it. Then people go, he's this, or he's got an agenda. There's so many different hidden agendas out there, but I do feel like, even now, as a heterosexual straight man who wants to be a provider for his family, that's got fucking lost in translation somewhere. Like, we don't get represented properly. We really, really don't. We're at the bottom of every list to get property. We're at the bottom of every list when it comes to rights, when it comes to seeing our kids, whatever it is. Like, it's really, really scary, the direction the UK is going.
I think we're lost.
Well lost. Fucking past lost. I think this... How old are you? I'm 34.
I'm 38.
Yeah.
Callum's similar age. He's in between. I think we're a generation that had fantastic childhoods.
Yeah.
I think we're the last generation before sort of modern day technology arrived.
Yeah, which is scary as well.
Yeah, and I think, my son's 18, my daughter's 14.
It's a minefield, isn't it?
But I think, and I can only talk from personal experiences, mate, is that when we talk running away from problems and towards solutions, right? So I had my son at 19, I was married at 21, my daughter I bought my first house when I was 18, my daughter at 23, and I think when we talk about masking or the inability to regulate emotions, right? You have this wolf pack mentality as a young teenager. You get involved with groups and start drinking, smoking, smoke a bit of weed. Then. But what I never learned, what I truly, truly didn't understand was how to emotionally regulate myself. Yeah. And I've heard Jamie speak about it quite a bit.
Yeah, he's got some good insights into it. Yeah, he has.
Taught by me. No, I'm only joking. We've spoke on bits.
Yeah, you've had some chats, haven't you? Yeah.
And I use the analogy that my whole 20s breezed by because I'd focus on work.
Yeah.
I'd focus on paying the bills. I'd focus on making sure my kids had nice clothes, nice holidays. Yeah. But inevitably, I wasn't working on myself as a person.
We don't, do we?
No. And then my marriage fell apart. And then, in long story short, my granddad died end of 26th of December 2019. Separated from my ex-wife 4 or 5 weeks later. Lost my house. Ended up, sorry, missed a bit out. went for probably 18 months then through COVID alone for the majority of the time in my own house. Cocaine was an everyday thing, every day, all day. And then inevitably, I lost my house, ended up having to go and live with my dad, who I'd never lived with in my whole life. Barely spoke to him for years.
Yeah.
And then it comes to the point where I tried to take my own life one night. And I ate a load of cocaine, like $1,000 worth of cocaine, just ate it. And I almost bled to death. Anyway, I've said that story a million times. But what I was, mate, I was lost.
Yeah.
And when we talk about purpose, I do a lot of work around values, purpose, identity, beliefs, behaviours. I do a lot of that now inevitably the business I'm going to be starting next year. I help people through these types of conversations and speak about that a lot.
Definitely.
And as men, we're lost. If you take us, let me ask you a question. If you could sit in silence on your own with nobody's influence, what would you say to yourself now?
I don't know. I don't know what I'd say to myself. That's a mad question because it's left me speechless. Actually, I don't know what I'd say.
Because and I ask myself that question every time I ask somebody else, and I always come up with a different answer now. But what it does, it makes me feel emotional now, because for a long time, and I'm not saying this as in towards me and you speaking, but I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, that's how I felt then. A bit emotionally lost with that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really. Yeah, but a bit like a kid again. A bit like, oh, I don't know what I'd say. Yeah,
because it's funny you should say from a kid again, because what I've learned is when we ask ourselves questions like that, it'll take us back to the last time we once felt it.
Probably, yeah.
And it's deep, this shit, mate.
Yeah, it is.
You talk about rabbit holes.
Yeah.
I've gone down some fucking mad rabbit holes. Not through the chaos side of it, through the exploration of human behaviour. And like it's fascinating, this stuff, mate. And like this has become a lifelong ambit, or whatever you want to call it, lifelong goal for me to do this and explore it more, because I've seen some of your stuff, mate. You help a lot of people with what you're doing.
Try.
There is no try.
Yeah.
Yoda, Master Yoda of Star Wars. There is no try, there's only do.
Yeah.
So give yourself a bit of credit with that, mate.
Thank you.
But inevitably, a lot of the time, we help other people to avoid helping ourselves.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Very, very rarely do I have someone message me and go, and even when I'm doing these videos, we live in such a toxic environment when I always think, fucking hell, how do I come across here? What do people think? Is this going to get screenshot? And I've got up to the point now where I think I couldn't give a fuck. Because if you're trying to do something genuine with no hidden agenda and you're genuinely being authentic and you want to help people, it says more about the people who are judging you, doesn't it? But, fear no judgment, I think, is one thing that I've learned in the last year, which is helped me escape a little bit. It really has helped me escape. And it's funny you should say that we're lost, and I feel exactly the same. And it led me, actually, and this is something I wasn't really going to touch on, but I will. I go to church every Sunday, and it's crazy because the amount of men sort of our age that are going there now, it feels like something's happening. And the majority of the men that are there, they all say the same thing. They always go, they felt something was missing. They felt a bit lost. They couldn't put their finger on it, and it sort of transcended into us. A few of us, a lot of us have boxing backgrounds. A lot of us who have, there's a lot of people in the church who have, been to prison, and there's all sorts. There's different characters there. It's not when I was a kid where you went there and it was, an age range of 80 plus. I think now people are waking up a little bit and going, I need something to believe in. I need something to sort of go, right, okay, I want to feel safe. It's so funny you say about feeling lost, because I think everyone does feel lost, but they can't sort of verbalize what's making them feel like that. Do you know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's helped me. I don't know why it's helped me, but it has.
Well, I mean, as far from a religious aspect, I'm not massively religious. I've read a lot into religion, Muslim, Christianity.
Yeah.
I've read the books.
Yeah.
And I've got these Buddhist beads that I have.
Yeah, I did notice them. I did see them. Yeah,
that's just from an anxiety point of view. I like to play with them.
Yeah.
Just makes me feel a bit calmer.
Okay, yeah.
But when we talk religion, what it does, it teaches you morality and spirituality. Now, for me, spirituality is living life, identity, and every single person on this planet, I believe, has purpose.
Yeah.
And what society teaches us, what environment teaches us, what fucking social media teaches us is to not live at your identity, who Osh is as a person, who you truly are at your core, your beliefs, your values. What it does, it says, live this way. Live this way that society tells us. Nice cars, nice houses, nice clothes. Live this life, you'll be dead happy.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we live that life for fucking years, and then we go, fucking hell, I feel like shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what we've got to do is get back to who we are as people, who you are at your core through identity, through beliefs, fucking values.
Yeah.
And that's what the guy I've got a mentor from South Africa who's become a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Probably the cleverest man I've ever met.
Life coach. Like a life coach.
He's a psychologist, but he does counselling. He does, he teaches all about culture and business aspect. And he's got about 5 or 6 different forms of work.
Yeah.
But he does, have you heard of NLP?
No.
So NLP, have you heard of Tony Robbins?
Yes.
So Tony Robbins at his core.
I like him.
Superstar.
A lot of time for him.
At his core, he's an NLP master.
Okay.
Neuro-linguistical programming, it's called.
Okay.
And it's about the language of the brain and using the right language to explain who we are as people. Because as people, we generalize a lot. Oh, they fucking hate me. You don't know that. You're just making a general statement. But in turn, the language we use creates the beliefs that we have.
Yeah.
Which then creates this perception of the world, whatever it is. You can paint a lovely picture or a sad picture. It's up to you what you do with that. But anyway, what we did the beginning of this year, and this is why I believe I've not relapsed. This is why I believe I never will. I'm not interested. Doesn't bother me anymore. Is because we did the work on Lee, who I am as a person. So when I came into the recovery, I don't even say I'm in recovery no more. I say I'm in discovery.
Okay.
Just simple words, simple changes.
Like
and people said to me, they wanted me to say my name's Lee and I'm an addict. And I said, I'm not fucking saying it. Because identity statements give power to action.
Yeah.
I am, therefore I will be.
I understand that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
And everyone was like, you can't. I was saying, I'm not an addict. I struggled with addiction, but I am not an addict.
Yeah.
Because it's their identity statements. And
what did they say to that?
A lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
But again, that's...
Because they think that the moment you sort of admit it is the moment that you start recovery, don't they? And I get that's a really interesting perspective you've just spun on it, actually, because it's true.
And this is where he approached me and he was like, where's that come from?
Yeah.
He said, for 30 years of me helping people with addiction and trauma, he said, I've never heard anybody say that.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
And it fucking is true.
Yeah.
We're not addicts.
No.
We're human beings.
No.
Who feel, suffer, we have pain. And addiction is never the problem, it's the response to the problem.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge believer in that. You fix the emotional pain, you will fix. You said your personality is addictive, right?
Yeah.
What part of your personality is addictive?
I suppose like chasing highs. And then it was interesting because I had this conversation when I stopped boxing. I don't miss it anymore. I did miss it, but I don't miss it at all anymore because I'm still involved. I'm still coaching. It's still a big part of my life, and it was funny because I think it was my mum that said it. She said he's chasing a high that he'll never find. And you then are looking for an alternative. You're looking for something else. And that could be behaving a certain way. That could be drugs. That could be alcohol. That could be just putting yourself in these situations where you shouldn't be in because there's that anxiety there, that excitement there, that feeling of something's going to, happen here. And I think it was always that. I think when I was boxing, you had weeks and weeks of training. You have this little high at the end, and that was missing, obviously. And then what people didn't talk about either, with regards to mental health and stuff, and a lot of boxers probably feel it. After a fight, you used to get a bit of a come down.
Did you?
There used to be a bit of a come down, yeah. For a week or so, you felt a bit like you couldn't really put your finger on it. And it was only towards the end when I stopped giving a fuck. I didn't get it because I wasn't getting that high anymore anyway. I wasn't getting that sort of, right, I really want to do this now. It was like a toxic relationship. When I finished boxing 2 years ago, but I was probably signed out of it 2 years before that, when I retired as a professional because I couldn't sell tickets. And it was mad because you feel so many different emotions when you're about to go in a ring. Like you could feel sadness, you could feel anger, you could feel anxiety, you could feel, there's all sorts of things. You could feel elated, you could feel all sorts of feelings. But I remember I was in Africa and I was fighting an Olympic qualifier, and it was a massive arena. It was a big deal at the time, and I was sat in the thing, and I just couldn't be asked. I could not. I was fighting for Somalia, you know, I was my mum's from, and I was fighting, and I just thought, I cannot be asked being here. I really want to fucking get this over with and go home.
Really?
And I knew I was done. Like, because if you can't go out there and Olympic qualifier in front of about 8,000 people in there booing fuck out of me, I can't get up for this. I thought, I can't ever get up for it again. I knew, yeah, sort of, I knew. That whole camp was a fucking disgrace, to be honest, but I've not really opened up about it. It was boxing for the Somalian team, and you had the Nigerian team there, for example, and they had 10 coaches, 10 fighters kitted out, and I was just there on my own with me fucking father-in-law, you know. He was the only white fella there, and there was me, and then there was all these African teams, and they were all regimented, and they were training together, and I was just there on my own. The Somalian team got there 2 days before, no one could hold fucking pads, and I was just like, this is a fucking shit show, but they've not got nothing, you know. My mum's dad's from Mogadishu, and they have fuck all. Like, they literally have nothing, you know. I've been to Africa a few times, and it's a beautiful place, but you know, we think we've got nothing. They've got nothing, man.
Somalia especially has got one of the lowest or the highest levels of poverty, isn't it?
When I lived in Manchester, I didn't tell anyone I was from Somalia because they had such a bad reputation.
Yeah, the pirates.
Yeah, pirates, stabbings, the shootings, a lot of the trouble in Moss Side and in Rusholme and Levenshulme and all that. A lot of it was the Somalians. So obviously, you know, I'm a proud Welshman and what have you, but you know, I'm mixed race, proud of that as well, and I'm Somalian. Right. But I kept it very hush hush, you know. I didn't really say it because the culture there in Manchester, you know, even the Somalians didn't get on with each other.
Yeah,
that was what it was.
Is that like a tribal thing?
Yeah, I think so. It was very hostile. I don't know how bad it is now. I don't take as much of an interest, but I lived in Manchester for 10 years. After the Gunchester era, to be honest, it calmed down a lot when I lived there and stuff. But yeah, I kept that quite quiet. Yeah, yeah.
When you said that you chase highs,
yeah.
What would describe what a high would be to you if it came naturally?
I don't even know anymore. What would a high be to me now? I don't know. I really don't know what a high right now would look like. The closest thing I can think of as a high is like spending time with my family and spending time with me. So that is my high now. That is where I'm at my pinnacle of feeling good and feeling where I could be myself. I think for such a long time, the boxing ring, it was somewhere where I could express myself and I could be the best version of myself, and people were seeing me, and that was it. And then where I felt like this is me, who I am. But that is I'd probably say now being a dad, and that's a high. That's a high. That
fucking best high.
Yeah, that is a high. I can't, you know, it's the best thing that ever happened to me because I was never big on having kids. I was never bothered, and it just sort of happened. Because it's funny what you said before. You said about it's almost like there's a checklist, isn't there? Like in life, that you go to school, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, and like I saw a quote once. It was saying, everyone asks you. If you see a friend now you've not seen for years, you go, "How are you doing, Lee? Are you married? Have you got kids? Have you got a house?" They don't ever ask, "Are you happy?" And I always think that's such a really good way of putting it, because no one does go, "How are you, mate? You happy? In a good place?" Like, no one has that conversation, do they? I think we're starting to.
Yeah.
But you know,
do you know what, mate? I think that's a brilliant way of putting it, because even myself, like, I speak about all this often. But when it comes to me, like, we're our own worst critics, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
When we talk about judgment, it's never the judgment of other people. It's our own judgment of ourselves. Yeah. Always. We can say we hope they aren't judging us, but even that in itself is a judgment of ourselves. I've got my son at the moment. He's nearly 18. He's in college studying engineering. He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't told me he doesn't want to, but I could tell.
You can tell, yeah.
And I pressure him. You make sure you go to college.
Yeah.
But you're dead right, though. I shouldn't be doing that as a dad. I should be saying to him, do what makes you happy.
Yeah. It's interesting because I dropped out of uni twice, Twice. So I was studying law in Bangor University, and I'll never forget this conversation with my dad. And I pulled him on it for the first time a couple of years ago. And we were there in the living room, and I said, Dad, I don't want to fucking do this course. I don't. And I was all right at it. I could have done it. I believe I could have done it. He said, why? He said, Dad, I want to box. I don't want to be a solicitor. I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to box. He just literally held his head in his hands, literally, and was like, no, I don't understand. And he said something, and it always stuck with me. He said, for an intelligent person, you make a lot of bad decisions. And it fucking hit me, yeah. But it was the best thing you could have said, because it made me work my fucking bollocks off.
And the thing is as well, bad decisions based on what? Based on his values, right?
Based on his values, yeah.
Not yours.
Not my values.
So they're not bad decisions.
It's the best thing I ever fucking did in my life. That decision there was the best thing I ever did in my life, looking back, because as much as I never became a millionaire boxing, it's given me a livelihood. I do it now because I fucking love it, and I'll do it for the rest of my life. I love it.
And it's funny because I've said similar things like your dad did to you, to my son.
Yeah.
And again, it's easy when you're on the outside. Like, I could give this information to my sons in such a different way. Like, I've said to him, you'll regret it. That's a mistake. And it's like, based on what?
Yeah.
My fucking judgment. That's what it's based on.
Yeah. Because you could have gone either way, couldn't it? I could, all right, Dad, yeah, sound, you know what? Yeah, you're right, I'll knock this fucking boxing on the head. And I might have been a fucking shit-up barrister. Do you know what I mean?
Would you have been happy?
Yeah, I might have been miserable. Exactly, I might have been miserable as sin. Minted, but fucking miserable. Do you know what I mean? I think, I said again in the video today, I care so little about financial things now. Obviously, I want to pay my bills. Obviously, I want to put food on the table. That's obvious. We all fucking have to, and we all need to do that. I wish we fucking didn't, but we do. But I don't care about having a fancy car. I don't care about having a fucking big house. I just want to be happy and settled. And then I always think, one thing you did say that was really interesting and what we're all looking for and what we're all after, I think most men now that are lost, they're just trying to find peace. And I've done that with women my whole life. And I was chasing the wrong sort of fucking woman and that. And I was thinking, finally now, I've got someone who I love very much and I found peace. And that's all men want, really.
I genuinely 100% believe the love of a good woman can find that inner calmness in a man.
Oh, she's making me.
I really believe that. When I met my missus 4 years ago, nearly, and it was only about 5-6 weeks after I tried to fucking top myself. And when people say you've got to hit rock bottom, I disagree. I don't believe there is such a thing, because I tried to top myself and I carried on using. So where's my rock bottom? Really? Is it there?
So that wasn't the point where you went, I'm never fucking doing this again.
I carried on.
Wow. Okay.
I carried on. But inevitably, when I stopped using, I was in a far better position.
Yeah.
I'd managed to lift myself up out of that, only piece by piece. And I lied like fuck to my missus when I first met her. I don't do drugs, because I was known around here for doing it. Yeah. I don't do drugs, I don't drink no more. And then slowly the addiction aspect of it crept into my relationship, and inevitably she realised I was a lying bastard.
Yeah.
But but what she did, and this is the power of emotion, right? I always say the difference between a thought and an emotion, the difference between a thought and a belief is emotion, right? You might think somebody loves you, but until you feel it, that's when you believe they love you, right? And all my life, from when I was a child, and this is my story, right? It might not even necessarily be true, because our brains lie to us all the fucking time. But my mum was violent to me as a kid. My dad was never around. My nana and granddad showed me love. But my nervous system, my belief, my perception of what life is was that my mum's horrible to me. She knocks fuck out of me all the time. My dad's never around. If those two people don't love me, whoever will? Yeah. If I can't feel love from the two people who were supposed to love me, who will? And that was like a subconscious.
I get the thought process.
But then what I did is I went through my whole life living at an arm's reach of people, not allowing them to truly love me. With my ex-wife, with relationships with friends, relationships with other family members. What my missus did, she stayed and relentlessly said, I love you, let me in. And it was like, fuck. Then one wall had come down, it gets me emotional, another wall had fall down, and in the end I had nothing left. I was like, she loves me and I fucking love her, and we got engaged 6 weeks ago in Italy.
Congratulations, man.
Cheers. But it was powerful. The love of a good woman showed me that I loved myself.
Definitely.
And inevitably, we can't love anybody the right way unless we fucking love ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I've still got shit to work on.
Yeah. We all have.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of life. And
we're all works in progress, aren't we? And it's mad that you say that, because I always thought when I was a bit younger, when I'm 30, I'll have it all figured out. And here I am at 34, still fucked. you're just still rebuilding. You're still, like, every day I'm learning. Every day I've really had a year of trying to figure myself out. And again, I said it earlier in another conversation. Fuck me, the hardest conversation I ever had was with yourself. And I've had a lot of difficult conversation the last 6 months. But I think that's where you grow, isn't it? Where you're having these honest conversations going, you know what, are you handling this as well as you could? You know, these relationships that you've got, these friendships that you've got as a dad or whatever it may be, are you being the best version of yourself? And can you honestly say yes to these questions? Most of the time, the answer was no from me.
Yeah, and I think even now, mate, I'm probably not the best version of myself, but what I am is a fucking good version of myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's still a lot. I think it's impossible, mate, to, like, you see it a lot on podcasts and the big podcast, like Joe Rogan, for instance. He trains like fuck. Yeah. He's intellectual. He's doing everything. He's rich.
His stuff. Yeah.
But he's going to have lazy days when he struggles like fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Is, yeah.
And I think we put this sense of what achievement or accomplishment looks like based on the accomplishments and achievements of other people.
Yeah.
Like you said
definitely.
You said there, you thought you'd have it all figured out. What are you figuring out by 30?
Exactly. What are you figuring out?
Exactly.
You just think you'll know whatever you're supposed to figure out. You'll have figured it out, and you don't. And there's no, like, when you're making your goals, you've got to have a clear set goal, haven't you? And actually, we're a bit wishy-washy with our goals, aren't we? We're just all up in the air with it. And we go, like, we always say things, and I only just now start to think, we say, I want to have this money, I want to earn this much a year, I want to earn 100 bags a year. Why? Why do you want to earn that? And there's no, and when it says, well, why do you want to earn that much? Oh, because it's more than I earn now. Or because I could do this. The only reason I would like money is to buy me time. And when I say people don't think you can buy time, I suppose you can to an extent, because if you've got that financial freedom, it gives you that freedom to do what you want with your time.
Fine. So I'm trying to think back now to what it was, but there's 3 things that we look for in life: meaning, freedom, and well-being. They're the 3 things that we look for in life. Financial freedom brings freedom.
Yeah.
But then we have meaning. What is our meaning as people? And again, some people know it. It's not something that you can answer off the cuff.
Is that case by case?
Yeah, the individual. We've all got different meanings. All of us. So whatever that looks like. But the three commonalities in life are freedom, meaning, and well-being. So well-being is looking after yourself, looking after your family. That's well-being, physically and mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
So if you can get all them 3 covered, that's a healthy life.
Yeah.
That's a balanced, healthy life. And people think that money brings freedom. Sometimes it does, but there's a lot of billionaires who take their own lives, millionaires who kill themselves.
Yeah. So
money doesn't always bring freedom. It's the opportunity that money allows, I think. And I think you're right there. It can buy you time, because inevitably, you know, we have got fucking mortgages to pay and fucking electric and gas bills, and everything's getting more expensive and more expensive, and the bank's getting lower and lower and lower. Yeah, it is, man.
Do you know what's mad about that? I got a same topic, but off topic. I got a PT, a guy, and he's a multimillionaire. And he's 70 years old, and he's lived in the Middle East, he's lived in America, he's lived all over the world. Got a really successful business that he does. It doesn't have to work, but it still does. That's one thing I've noticed about these successful people. Even when they're old, they're still doing it. There are a couple of people like him, And he said if he was my age now, he would leave the UK tomorrow. And I was reading a statistic the other day, and it said in the first 6 months of 2025, 21,000 millionaires have left the country. Yeah. And I just keep thinking, what the fuck do they know that they're going? I went to Dubai in January on holiday, and it's the most amazing place in the world. And if it wasn't for my son, I'd be there.
Really?
100%. I wouldn't be here. I would not be here. My missus, she's a bit of a home bird. She likes it around here and all that sort of stuff. And I've got my son and stuff. But I swear to God, if I didn't have my son, I'd say to her, listen, I love you very much. I'm off. You can have fucking go with me. You can stay here. But I'm, I found it so weird because he said he's going. He says he's doing another year here and he's fucking getting out. He can't believe the way it's gone. And this is another thing when I said earlier about what you can say and and I've just gone through it in my old job, which I've recently left. Like I said, I'm mixed race myself. But if you have anything to say about, mass immigration, you're a racist. If you say, you know what, I want these guys to be vetted correctly. I want to know who's coming to the country. I want to know who's living in my area. I want to know what their records are. Oh, you're a racist. Well, no, I just want to know who's living next to me and my son, who's living next to these families. Who are these men, these strange men that are coming out of nowhere? And I've just seen it. And I think I'm seeing it in the UK a lot. We spoke briefly about men in general. A lot of positive discrimination going on, like a lot of positive discrimination. I've seen it in a workplace that I've just left, where I've been there 5 years. And when I first started there, it was 90% British staff, local staff. And I'm all for people coming in, equality. I'm all for it.
Yeah, of course.
Like I say, mixed race myself, I'm all for equality. When I left there, it was probably 90% Nigerian and Indian staff.
Was it?
But this is a care thing. So care is the one job you can come into this country and you can pretty much do straight away. You can go into a care job straight away. You can walk in tomorrow and go, right, I'm going to start a care job. I'm going to join an agency. You don't have to do the relevant DBS checks because I've only been here 5 minutes, and then you start a job. And even the management team there, when I left, 50% of that team are now, mixed. And I'm all for, mixing and stuff, but now it's become an opportunity where people who live here are being pushed out.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like.
And mate, equality is something that I believe in totally.
Yeah.
You see it in the local area now. We have Eastern European, African, Muslim, loads.
And you see it more around here.
Loads.
You see it more around here, yeah.
And, I know a lot of them, and they're all fucking really nice people. But on the same hand, like you said there, and it's not really something that I've spoken on here yet, but I've got my opinions and views, is that a lot of the boats that are coming over are men. There's hardly any children or women.
Scary.
And they've also got to get through 4 or 5 other countries before they get to the UK.
This is what I don't get.
So if they're saying they're getting away from war-torn countries, well, you've got to go through 3 or 4 pretty decent countries before you get here.
They come from France.
Yeah.
Nothing going on in France, is there?
Yeah,
this is what confuses me. And like I say, it's either in the UK now, it's put up or shut up. And I think that's the attitude. And like I say, I'm all for equality, 110%. But there's a problem.
Do you hear what Gary Neville said the other week?
Yeah.
When he, the two, again, I don't follow the news massively. I stopped listening to the news and social media as well. I don't really pay attention to what's on there unless it's to do with addiction, mental health, or whatever.
I don't watch much news or anything anymore.
But I heard Gary Neville. I watch YouTube.
Yeah.
And I heard Gary Neville saying about the two. Was it the Muslim guy that got shot in a school in Manchester the other week? Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
And Gary Neville said it's all down to middle-aged angry white men.
Yeah.
And I thought, what the fuck has middle-aged angry white men got to do with anything?
We're simmering, aren't we? We're on a fucking tightrope. I feel like I can feel the tension in the air, and I think we're one incident away from falling over. And
I think me and Cal, this is something that Cal likes quite a bit. Cal's quite educated, but he's also mental. I believe we're very, very close to civil war.
I think we're close.
I think the Americans are very close to civil war, and I think I hope this doesn't sound the wrong way, but it will become tribal. It will become where races all separate. Yeah. And like, you can see it now, like, it's become such a divided country where it's filled with passion and hatred and fucking these people hate these people. And it's like, where's the love gone? Like,
do you know what I feel like, though? Have you ever seen that picture? And it's a politician and he's sat next to a white guy and there's a cookie on the table and there's a black guy on the other side of the table and this politician's got a fucking bag full of cookies. And he whispers to the white guy, hey, that black guy's just took your cookie. And I feel like that's where we are, though, a little bit. I feel like it's just forcing us against each other a little bit. It feels like that. It feels like, right, let them argue amongst themselves and we'll all just do our own thing over here.
I definitely feel like it's agenda driven.
Definitely. Definitely.
Joe Rogan, he put a clip on of a guy speaking in like the 60s or the 70s. I can't remember who it was. Very educated American fella.
Yeah.
And they say to him, if you were to divide countries, how would you do it?
Yeah.
And basically explains everything that's happening today to a fucking T.
Yeah.
And this was 50, 60, 70 years ago. It's on YouTube. I'll try and find it and add it in on this. But yeah, Joe's sitting there talking with his guest and they're like, shit, that's happening in the UK right now.
Yeah.
Similar, like you see the amount of homeless people we have.
Yeah.
Is getting greater. There's a guy sleeping around the corner here.
Yeah. Sad, mate.
And yet they say we've got no money. The NHS is fucked, which it is.
Mm.
People are on waiting lists for mental health and medication for fucking 12 months, 2 years sometimes. But yet there's hotels being paid for with private doctors.
Yeah.
And it's costing the taxpayer.
It's crazy.
I've paid 45 grand this year in tax.
Wow.
Because I got made redundant, that was.
Yeah.
So I got a bit of a lump sum.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking,
where's the money go?
Where does it all go?
Where does the money go?
But then you look at these again, you call them, is it asylum seekers?
Yeah.
And inevitably, some of them will be coming here for a good life, but I think some of them are just coming here. One, I think there is this...
It's paradise, mate. They think it's paradise.
But I think there's some sort of fucking sleeper cells.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like military movements as well and things like that.
Yeah.
I've got no proof of that.
No, that's...
But when you look at them...
I've heard that. I think you're right, though. I think... Do you know what? Majority of these people are probably coming from a war-torn, awful fucking place. And they probably are coming here for a better life.
Yeah.
They probably have heard, you know what? The UK... Because we have gone a little bit soft. They probably have gone, you know what, the UK is a good place for us to go. And, you know, I want to go there and I want to get a good job and I want to do that. And that's fine. But I think there are people that are coming here unchecked. I could tell you some other stories about some of the people that I've come across with working in care. And it'd fucking frighten you, mate.
Was it?
Swear to God. Yeah. But I won't, because I still know people that work there. So I won't. But I tell you, some of the stories I could tell you, like, there are some people coming here and they're not vetted and they shouldn't be doing the jobs they're doing. That's all I'll say on that.
Again, I can't say, I don't know a massive amount, but my missus is a district nurse.
Yeah.
So she goes in and out of care homes, and again, she doesn't tell me in detail of people because she's not allowed.
Yeah.
But you hear stories of certain things happening, but again, it's this aspect of not vetting people. It's funny because I'm sat here now, and I'm thinking there is people who will 100% deem this conversation as racist.
No, probably.
And that in itself is a scary thought, because it's like two lads. We're not being nasty to anyone.
No.
We're just stating facts, statistics,
having a
if
conversation
you like.
And it is statistics. It's there for people to see if they actually want to go and study and look into things. I was going to say something else then, but I won't go down that rabbit hole. But there's enough evidence out there to support some of the stuff that's being said, and this is coming from someone who is mixed race.
Yeah,
coming from someone who's openly said, I come from, Somalian descent. Somalia, the crime that a lot of Somalian men do in this country is very high as well. And that's why I didn't really mention it, because there's a stigma attached, there's a stereotype attached, and there is. I do have a criminal record. I do have a criminal record. Yeah. So, am I a valid statistic where you go, look, he's Somalian descent and he's got a record, But, I think it's two blokes having an honest conversation about the state of the country.
And it's a strange one, because even though I know nothing we've said has been wrong, there is that fear at the back of my mind going, oh, be careful what you say. Yeah. You might be deemed as fucking far-right neo-Nazi.
This is what it is, though.
It's crazy, isn't it?
If you're against, like I said earlier, if you don't want a bloke to go into the women's toilets and you've got a young daughter there, you're anti-this, or you're against the left. Anti-trans, and you've got, I don't care what anyone is, mate.
I don't.
I couldn't give a rat's ass. It doesn't interest me in the fucking slightest. Is there some things the world looks crazy. When I watch some of the things, some of these videos, so even the videos that get shown to you, I think, is that just bait? Is that just bait? Is that just to bait me to go in? What's all this about? Oh, I don't know what they're up to. Like, because some of the stuff is outlandish, mate. And I think that can't be fucking real. Like, it can't be some of the stuff. But I'm more than happy to accept people for who they are, but they've got to also accept that,
exactly,
you know, I'm entitled to an opinion.
And I'm of that a similar belief, mate. People can be whatever they want in the world. I've got family
members. Do you care?
No.
I don't give a fuck.
I
don't care enough about anyone outside my immediate circle. I don't care who they are. And my son, I love him to bits. You know, we'll have honest conversations. Do I want him going to school in an environment where you have got these agendas that you hear about being pushed on the kids? Fucking right, I don't. Absolutely not. And I will drag him out of school kicking and fucking screaming if stuff like that happens. I don't care.
I think for me, like, I've got family members who are gay. Love them. I love
these
people.
Of course.
Love them.
Yeah.
But I think for me, you know, you can be whatever you want to be. If it makes you happy, I am all for it.
Yeah.
You can call yourself a fucking zebra if you want.
Yeah.
And I will love you all the same. But the only thing I've got is, don't tell me what I have to believe.
Yeah. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same. I saw that fucking, what's his, you know, I forgot his name, Charlie, he was shot.
Yeah.
How sad was that, mate?
Yeah.
For having an opinion. Do you know what was interesting about him? I think he got tarred with a brush of being homophobic. He actually really wasn't. I saw a lot of videos of him. He was a big Christian. Christianity's mindset and the logic of Christianity has changed a lot where it comes to same-sex marriage and whatnot. You see vicars now who are in same-sex marriages and stuff like that. So times have changed. They've moved with the times and whatnot. And he was very much a good Christian, can be whatever sexual orientation. And, you know, he was shot for having an opinion, killed for having an opinion. And I think, is that where we are now?
Absolutely.
Like, that's where it is. People are out there shooting people because they've got an opinion. I think it's crazy.
Like I say, I think it's a very volatile place. Like, me and Cal have spoke a few times about it.
America.
Just in general, all of this type of stuff. And I think
you can feel it, can't you?
I think it's agenda driven. I do.
Yeah.
I think that there's, like, you speak to my dad, he's the biggest conspiracy theorist on the planet.
I do like a good conspiracy, though. I do like it, I must say.
But, you know, even that Charlie Kirk shooting, you look at all the conspiracies around that. And what's the lady's name? Oh, is she a lawyer? What's her name? It's a big YouTube channel.
Oh, I know you mean. She's done a podcast with James English and all them as well.
Black woman.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
A black American woman. I can't remember her name, but she's very, very intellectual woman. Yeah. Very clever, and she's
not like Kamala Harris.
That's it. Oh, yeah, Kamala Harris. That's it. Kamala Harris.
I just saw the one she did with the CEO one.
Right.
She's done that.
Yeah. She's really clever, and I've listened to her talk about the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
She was big friends with him. And, like, she's come out with some stuff and you think, fucking hell, if that's true, that's wild. Like,
yeah.
But, yeah, I think there's a lot of things that are agenda-driven.
Are you a David Icke fan?
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
David Icke.
I'm a big fan of David Icke. I'm a big fan. You know, that's another thing my dad would probably say, what you're on about now, but I'm a big David Icke fan, yeah. I think a lot of his stuff, he was talking about this in the 80s, mate.
Yeah, well, David Icke was probably the first, but my dad got me into conspiracy theories when I was about 21, 22. David Icke was one of the first people I came across. And then you're talking about reptilians and aliens, and that's a whole, you put that into a drug-induced psychosis at 3 o'clock in the morning, mate. And there's some serious...
That's an eye-opener.
Yeah, I'd be peering through the blinds thinking the fucking FBI were watching me and all sorts, mate. Oh, man, they was, honestly, and I'm not even joking, you'd be watching things on the Twin Towers and you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Off me nuts thinking there's been coppers outside watching me, and honestly... Fuck, David Icke, what a guy. Fucking, he fills me with anxiety when I think of those days.
I do like his stuff.
Yeah.
I do like his stuff. And others like him. I just think there's got to be more out there. There's got to be more going on in there.
Have you ever heard of, what's it called, Cal? That place in America where all the governors go and meet up. What's Bohemian Grove?
No.
You ever heard of it?
No.
So, what's the big Alex...
Oh, the guy who...
What's his name? Alex Jones.
Yeah.
So...
Him and Ike have a bit of a, like... competition.
Yeah, well, they're very similar people.
Yeah.
So Alex Jones in like 2001, I think it was, he broke into Bohemian Grove.
Did he? Yeah.
Recorded it. I think he got taken off YouTube, but there's bits you can see on Bohemian Grove. So Bohemian Grove is this place is it California? Yeah, and it's like this mad fucking retreat where all the top members they're all Freemasons. It's all Freemasons.
Freemasons still a big thing?
Yeah.
I thought it seems to have UK seems to have died down a little bit.
It's still huge, it's global.
Yeah.
But it's very Masonic, and anyway, he breaks in with a camera and he's walking around. And then in the nighttime, they're all doing this like seance or something, if you like. And there's like a 30-foot owl in the middle of this pond, and there's like, you can hear people being sacrificed, and don't know whether they're real or it's recordings. But then he points out, and he's like, "There's George Bush, and there's fucking, there's so and so, the senator and governor, and they're all fucking hoods up." And
do you know what? Fucking George Bush is always there. He always finds himself there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, but I do think that there is like a small number of people that rule the world. I do think there's like 7 or 8 people, and they're fucking pulling all the strings and all. Like even and this is another thing I get a bit. I quite like Trump. I quite like him. I do think he is the face of a bigger picture. I don't think he's the organ grinder. I think he's the monkey. But
well, even the Queen, she was ruled by the crown.
Yeah,
there was a set of rules, or the king now. There's a set of rules above the crown that they have to live by.
Yeah,
and so that even the Queen, mate, the Queen's life was horrible. She had a horrible life. She was controlled from
they all
16,
aren't they? Yeah.
16. So there was layers and powers that be above the crown.
Yeah,
and I'd assume they're the same with the presidents, and money talks on it inevitably.
Definitely,
Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and all them fuckers.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's. I could talk about aliens and fucking conspiracies. I
could. We'll have to do a pod for that.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that you just get a few people in there and just mong out on sofas. You just get a load of cameras in there and just talk shit. I want to talk to you about some of the stuff that I've seen online that you've been doing.
Yeah.
Organisations, and you're trying to set up a charity.
So I've set up a charity called the Giving Back Foundation. So when I was, I still do my PTs. When I was working in a residential setting for children and adults with autism, and what I sort of discovered was there was nothing for the service users. So there was no PTs for them to go to, no gyms for them really to go to. Or there was, but there wasn't anyone out there with the level of expertise, with the, your level 3 in health and social care, the right insurances. Because people will say, look, I'll PT someone with autism, but autism's so broad.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, there's no one out there there's not many people out there that are professionally good enough to actually train people in a safe environment. So I said, I'm going to start this. And in essence, it's become quite big. We now sponsor, we've got about 10 fighters now that we sponsor. And in regards to that, to be fair to these lads, they've all come forward and said, I'd like to represent the brand, because I'm not in a position right now to fund them financially. When when this does really take off, I will be looking after them, because they've said, look, we love what you're doing. A lot of them have some sort of relationship with autism, or a family member or a friend or what have you. It's quite close to that, and they're representing the brand, which is amazing, and getting the word out there. So in essence, what would happen is you come for a PT, it's completely free of charge. All I ask is that you make a donation, however big or small, to the charity, and then that goes towards whatever I want to do, whether that's rent a unit for a day, whether that's get more pads and gloves for the kids and what have you. So that's something that I set up, and something that's taking off finally. But the amount of red tape, and you have to try and get funding off the council, or try and get a kick, or try and get, to try and get it. It's mental. It really is crazy when they're giving out money left, right and centre. Yeah. It's really difficult to put your bids in and get the money. And I'm still there now, where I've just started working closely with someone who is putting bids and stuff for me, because that's not an area of expertise for me at all. Not my thing. So he's doing that for me, kindly helping me. So that's something that I really do think will take off down the line. So that's something that we're doing. And the mental health thing I've been doing, where I've just been doing what you're doing and just talking about mental health a bit more, it's just something that's coincided with it at the same time, really. So I've been doing these competitions. You've probably seen them online and stuff, because I've been getting donations off people. People saying, right, I want to donate this, and I'm just literally donating it once a week, and just to get the word out there a little bit. But yeah, it's going well, and it's interesting because when I was working in that particular establishment, I've worked in sales for 10 years, and I worked in care for 5 years. Care was more salesy than sales. When it comes to profit margins, when it comes to paying the staff, the big gaffers would turn up in mega cars, brand new Beamers, Aston Martins, a lot, mate. I'm suited and booted, and they got the staff there, and they're paying the staff pennies, mate. Because with care, you have to live there to make half decent money. Yeah, otherwise you're fucked. And they never once, I said, listen, we've got loads of students here. Let me PT the students free of charge. Let them come to my gym. Let them do this. Let them do that. You know, I've got somewhere to never took me up on it. No. Never. That's what you're dealing with. These people that are the high end. And there is some great people that work in care, by the way. And there's people I still know and I have a lot of respect for who still work in that establishment. I've got a lot of time and respect for who do a great job. But there are some of the people that are very uncaring, unsympathetic people. And it tends to be the higher you go up the food chain.
I've heard that there's big money involved in care homes.
Massive money. So
your mum works in a care home, doesn't she? Does she? Yeah.
So the company so the college was under the umbrella of a company called Cambion, which is owned by 2 Jewish brothers, and it's worth 372 million. Yeah, and I think that's gone down. I think they were worth more. And they're constantly making cuts, cutting people's overtime, giving you less and less money to go out on days out and stuff, which is ruthless with the staff, mate. And I do feel sorry for people that are in that industry.
I've heard people talk about like putting loved ones into care homes and stuff like that, and how much it costs if you're doing it privately.
So some of the students, because it's a bit different where where I was, the more complicated the student, the more funding they get.
Really?
So there were students there that would be getting between 250 and 500 grand a year. And they say to your staff member, right, you're going to go out. I remember when I went to London, I had to do a transition. So that involves me going over to London and transitioning a student from my place to another place. Because some of these transitions are terrible. Literally, sometimes I've seen students literally just turn up at the door and that's your transition. But take it to a house in London. And they gave me 25 quid for a day in London for me. Breakfast, dinner, and lunch.
Couldn't even get a fucking drink in London.
Literally, and then they put me up in some minging hotel, and I just think, Lee, don't look after the people you got, and that's why you lose good staff.
Yeah,
that's why you lose good, and that's why these places will close. That place will probably be closed in 5-6 years because they don't look after people, good staff. But they're all in it. Everyone's in it for themselves. Everyone's in it for them. Where you should be there for the students. You should be there for the service. You should get up in the morning and you're going there to care and be a provider for these people, these students, because you're the ones that are giving. You're caring for them. You're giving them a life. You're giving them they wouldn't be able to have without you. And I think that's got lost in translation massively. And that's why I started the charity, and it's called the Giving Back Foundation, because I think the best thing we can ever do is give back.
Yeah, you sound very passionate about that.
I'm well passionate about it, mate. Yeah. I've seen it, and I wish I could fucking tell you more, but I've seen it. Yeah. It annoys me. Yeah, it annoys me because there's people who are very uncaring working in the care sector, and then you've got, like I said to you earlier, there's this big movement that's coming now, a big culture shift, big culture movement. There's people that are in this setting speaking in a foreign language in front of kids that can barely speak English. You know, what's going on?
It's funny, you mentioned before, there's like this spiritual shift at the moment, and like I say, mate, I believe, I used to think spirituality and religion were the same thing.
I did.
But now my interpretation of spirituality is by living at purpose, finding or designing, more importantly, designing purpose. Yeah. Which is what I've spent the last 12 months doing with all tools and techniques and stuff that, you know, if you're interested in the future, I can definitely share them with you. It's
definitely interesting. Because I thought spirituality and religion was the same thing.
Yeah.
I thought they sort of come hand in hand, and they really don't.
No, they're just, you know, religion is a form, I guess, of spirituality. But like I say, for me, spirituality is living life at purpose through identity, beliefs, values, behaviors, all that. Living life at who I'm supposed to be. I guess the last piece that I'd want to speak to you about is, based on everything that you just said there and your own.
I've well gone on a tangent today. I've gone
it's all right. It doesn't matter.
Everywhere.
The thing is, mate, everybody who comes on here does.
Yeah.
The beauty,
I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
The beauty of this is, mate, it's not a one episode thing.
Yeah.
These are people's stories and people's lives, more importantly.
Yeah.
I'm not here for views.
Yeah.
Granted, I'd love to do this full time, but I'm here for people to constantly tell their story whenever they want. Yeah. People message me, can I come and do a podcast? Yeah, let me know when. It's inevitably, it's about you.
Yeah.
And it's about your story and how you're helping people. So where you are now is somewhere completely different to somewhere you'll be in 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or 3 months or 12 months. If you want to come back, you message me in 2 months and go, let's go and do another one. Sound.
This is why I'd not done a podcast for years, not since I boxed. And then I got asked to do a few, and I was always like, well, what the fuck am I going to talk about? I don't box anymore. No one's going to find me fucking interesting. No one's going to find me fucking relevant. And as time's gone, the main thing I wanted to get out there was the charity and bring, eyes on that a little bit. So actually I've got some, and then Jamie vouched for you, and I like Jamie, got a lot of time for him. So I was like, okay. And I just, for so long, I thought, who the fuck cares what I've got to say? And that's when I put my videos up, I think, who cares what I've got to say? I think, you know what, I'm going to spread something. I've had a couple of messages today, funny enough, saying, hey Osh, really like that what you put up, I need to hear that today. And if fucking one person out of 1,000 people who see it, it's sort of buzzing.
Yeah. And inevitably, mate, what that does is, because what you'll be doing now is you'll be finding parts of your identity that you didn't really know.
Yeah.
They sort of lay dormant themselves.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody would have said to me a year ago that you can explain the neuroscience of addiction, I'd have gone, shut up, you dickhead.
Yeah.
But now I can.
Yeah.
Now I use hypnotherapy, I use NLP tools and techniques, all these things, and fucking reading books and psychology. But these are parts of me that I've always believed that were there.
Yeah. Like
a sculptor, like Da Vinci used to say about statues. The statue's always been inside the rock. All I did was chip away the pieces to find it. And that's what I believe we are as people. I believe all we have to do is chip away the rough, ragged, or jagged parts of us and find who you are as people.
That. Yeah.
And I really believe that. And that's not just, I'd honestly, hand on heart, people say, I've found purpose. We don't find it, we design it through the hard work, through dedication, through vulnerability, I think, is the most important part, to be truly vulnerable. And like I said to you before, and I think if you can take one thing away from anything that I've said to you today, is to just sit there and say, what would I say to myself when I'm on my own?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Well, that's the beauty of the question.
That's what I want to do. Yeah,
I asked the guy the other week. He was struggling with self love, and I said, "Well, what does it sound like when you tell yourself you love yourself?" And he was like, "Oh, fucking don't do that." I said, "Tell yourself you love yourself every day for 7 days, and come and answer it. Give me an answer." Yeah. His answer was completely different after 7 days, because the more you tell yourself something, the more you become it.
I think we have to work on ourselves. There's no quick fixes there. No. Like I said to you before about the ayahuasca. You have to have the intention of what you go in there for. But people think, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to be cured at the end of it. I think the real work starts after it. It's like when you learn to drive, isn't it? The real test starts when you actually pass your test. That's when you learn to drive, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think we get the tools, but we have to fucking work.
And that's it, mate. Like when people say they're going to be cured of what? Cured of life?
Yeah.
Because
again, wishy-washy, innit?
Yeah, life. You could. I've done DMT. Cal's done DMT.
I've done DMT. Yeah.
And I've seen some nice things in that. That was cool. Really enjoyed it. Didn't fucking cure nothing.
Yeah.
Granted, ayahuasca might be different, but my question is, what happens after that? Life doesn't stop. Yeah. Life carries on.
Yeah.
And we can have all the tools and techniques and abilities in the world, but if we haven't got capacity to deal with a problem, then the same problems you reliving problems that we were when we were children, when we were teenagers. And I think that's half the issue with we'll call it middle-aged men, if you like. Yeah. Fucking middle-aged men. It's depressing, man. It's depressing as fuck.
But your perspective changes, doesn't it? Like, I'm at an age now where I look at things well. Like, I'm a different guy at 34 than I was at 30.
Exactly, because your values and beliefs and that have changed.
Completely changed. I'm a dad now, I'm a reliable partner, I've been a Jack the Lad and all that bollocks. But, I think the real, the real win is just being someone that your family can rely on and being a stalwart. Like I said right at the start, we're not represented very well.
No,
I don't think we are represented very well, but it's still the ultimate goal for the man, I think.
I'm more importantly, like I agreed, like that family can rely on, but more importantly, somebody you can rely on.
Yeah. We forget ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
We definitely forget ourselves, definitely.
And like, do you know what, mate? Taking credit for things, and I don't look for validation of others, but I've probably spoke to, I'm going to say over 200 people now in the last 12 months, not just on the off the podcast as well.
Yeah.
And I've had people crying to me like, fucking hell, this, what you did with me, this tool you give me there, this, what, you know, this has really helped me. And it's like, thank you. And I go out, it wasn't me, it was you. You did the work. And then, you know, sometimes you accept it.
Yeah.
I accept that, you know, thank you very much for saying those nice things about me.
Yeah.
Half of the time we want to go, don't worry about it.
You've done that, you said. Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to sit there and go, thank you, mate. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
We don't do that either, do we?
No,
we don't. We try and, again, turn it on its head, don't we?
Yeah, don't worry. You sound, mate, no worries. But truly sit there and go, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And just feel how that feels inside. Because even me saying those words now, it's nice.
Yeah,
but we don't like niceness. We like to feel like, you know, we've got to get up every day and do this and do that. Granted, we have, but sometimes I spoke to my John, my mentor, this morning, and he said, I know you've been really busy the last 6-7 weeks because I'm doing all sorts.
Yeah.
Psychology, hypnotherapy, projects and work.
Sounds exciting though.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Then I've got the podcast, trying to grow the channels. Then I've got my relationship with my missus. Then I've got to be a dad. Then I've looked after my own well-being. And some nights I'm sat there like, fucking my cap is burned.
Yeah.
So it's important to have that hour to yourself and go, do you know what? I'm going to sit here and do absolutely fuck all for the next hour or so.
You know, when you have that hour, though, I always feel like I've fucking forgotten something. When I get that time to myself, I go, fucking, I must have forgotten something here.
Yeah.
I must have forgotten about a client or how's this? It's almost like it's happened on accident. Fucking, I've got an hour.
Do you like to feel in pure control?
All the time.
Yeah.
I'm a control freak.
Yeah,
in everything I fucking do. Like an absolute control freak. And this is why I think me and my missus work, because she just leaves me to it. I've always got mad ideas or something going on, and she just goes, oh, just leave him to it. He'll fucking... Whereas I've been with some women in there, they're just like a fucking nightmare off the wall, do you know what I mean? But I needed someone like her to let me be me and let me discover myself when I was being an arsehole or when I was being a prick or when I was being good or when I was doing good. And it made me change my perception of myself.
Do you still feel like you're running sometimes?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can, I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I don't mean...
No, always. I feel like I'm always fucking running.
I
always
agree.
running. And I think that's why, like, you know, you talk about DMT and you talk about microdosing and stuff like that. So funny story, I've done all this sort of stuff, and sometimes, I don't know if it's my anxiety or my headspace or the lack of control, it won't work. It's like it won't let me go to that place where you're supposed to go. And anyway, I went to a fella's house the other day, a fella I know's, you know, into his cambo and stuff. And he only bumped into him in the street, so I was there 5 minutes. Anyway, after 5 minutes, I've bought a fucking chocolate mushy bar, I bought some DMT, and I've booked onto a fucking ayahuasca retreat. Yeah. So I was like, there 5 minutes, yeah. So I come from there, ate this fucking chocolate bar, and I didn't feel anything, but I just like walked around Rill for about fucking 4 hours. But this is what I do. As soon as I'm feeling a certain thing, I just go on a mad run or a mad thing, and I have to go. I can't stand up. That's the only time when I go, okay, you can relax a little bit now. And even there,
see, even that there, a little bit.
Yeah.
You can relax a little bit.
Yeah, it's simmering.
What's different with saying to yourself you can relax rather than you can relax a little bit? What's the difference in you as a person?
I feel like I'm on job. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something all the time. Like even with this charity, it's not, even though people go, oh, it's great that you've set that up. It's great that, even when I was boxing, I always wanted more. And I think it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. It's a double-ended sword, isn't it? Because you're never fully satisfied.
The question is more of what?
Just better. Whatever better is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. So when I talked about NLP,
yeah,
the brain confuses us. So when we say more and words like better, they're general things.
Yeah.
So what we have to, I'm not saying this, we all do
and
it.
It's so interesting because I never put that spin on it, but you're so right, because I go better. What's better?
What is better? Better than what? And what is better?
Yeah.
Want more? More of what?
Yeah.
More of pain, more of suffering, more of happiness, more of joy, more of this, more of... What does more mean?
Yeah.
More of good things for you, good things for your family, you know.
Yeah.
And because we generalise so much, we confuse ourselves.
The only thing that always sticks out of my head is time. That's the one thing I'd love to have, but we'd all we'd all fucking love more time, wouldn't we? And I'm always chasing time and always going, right, I need to get this right because then I can buy more time. I feel like that fucker who has that picture. What's that? Have you seen that? Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So he's got a portrait. Someone did a portrait of him, and then they hide the portrait, don't they? But the portrait is aging, but he's not allowed to look at it, because if he looks at it, he sees how old he really is, and he's stuck in fucking time. So it's like me now, 34. You do a portrait of me, put a sheet over it, and I'll live forever until someone fucking beats the sheet. And I always feel like fucking Dorian Gray. Yeah, that's who I fucking feel like. Yeah,
if time could stand still for a moment, what would you do in that moment?
I just spend it with my son. I just sit at home. I know it sounds so fucking boring.
No, it doesn't.
I'm such a thing. I'd sit at home with my son. I sit on the sofa with him because he's not a fucking cuddler at all. He's all for his mum. He's not a cuddler. And I blame myself a little bit for that, because there's been so much that I've not fucking been there. But I'd sit there and I'd have a rare cuddle off him. Yeah.
See, human beings fascinate me. And me, everybody's an individual, but we all have these similar patterns and processes. All of us. I've got the same as it.
Yeah.
I asked you then, you come up with such a beautiful answer, but then your brain tells you to go off on tangent.
Yeah.
And I believe that's a huge thing for you, I think.
Yeah.
I think you have the answers.
Yeah.
But then your processes and your built-in beliefs and patterns that you've always dealt with things will then make you fuck off on a tangent somewhere.
Definitely. And I think it needs to be like, because I got the answer in my head then. I was like, nah, that's too simple.
Why though?
Yeah, exactly.
Life. I did a podcast with a guy last year, and he wrote a book called Keep It Simple.
Yeah. And
he said we overcomplicate life so much that the most simplest things in life is where beauty is held.
Love that.
And it's so true that we as human beings, we try and overcomplicate this journey.
Yeah, we do.
In life, when inevitably, when we're on our deathbeds, the only people that'll be around us are our sons, our daughters, our partners. Nobody else will be there, mate.
No.
The people that we love, like, when I asked you that question, if you'd have come up with any other answer than somebody you'd love, then it's the wrong answer.
The wrong in there.
You've got the right answer, but then your brain goes, well, that's a boring answer. I want to give a better answer, and I'll go off, and my missus might think, oh, because I've treated her this way and done the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The beauty is in there.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, and I get goosebumps to talking about it, I genuinely believe you just need to keep it simple for a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Chill out and just allow yourself that moment.
Yeah.
Whenever you know... We can have some chats on the phone and stuff like that, but
definitely.
I really believe you just need to give yourself that moment in time a little bit more often.
Do you know what? We don't live in that fucking moment, do we?
No.
It was when I was boxing and people, I used to box and people would say, oh, what next? What fight next? I mean, fucking hell. I just want to enjoy the moment and be secure in that moment and be fucking completely and utterly present in that moment. We're not, are we? Because they become memories. We're not fucking present. And I'm guilty of that.
We all are.
I'm one of the worst for it.
We all are.
You know.
Enjoy the moment. You said it yourself. And that's, take that away from this.
Yeah.
Just allow yourself to sit in a moment and go, I'm happy. I asked the guy on a podcast of mine two weeks ago. Peter Freeth, his name is. He's one of the leading NLP practitioners on the planet. And me, John, my mentor, and Peter, we spoke online. And I said to him, how do we know the difference between what we actually want and what society tells us we want? And he said, it's a fantastic question. The answer is so simple, it's unbelievable. Have a look around you at this moment in time, and your environment will show you everything that you've ever wanted up until this moment. And it's like, fucking hell.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So simple.
Yeah.
Like, what do I want? And have a look around. And it's like, well, everything I've got around me is what I've wanted my whole life.
Yeah.
Because inevitably it's here with me. Yeah. If I'd wanted something that much, I'd have it. Because we don't get in life what we want. We get in life who we are. We can all want £1 million. We can all want a nice fancy house. We can all want people to love us. But inevitably, if we aren't the person we say we are, we're not going to receive the love. We're not going to receive the happiness. And people say you get in life what you want. You don't. You get in life who you are.
Yeah.
So you get in what you put out. You get out of life what you put into it.
That energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Listen, mate, I've got one more question. The question that I was going to ask you 10 minutes ago.
I'm not going to be able to answer this one.
No. What does the next 12 months hold for you?
Continuing to be happy. I left my job to pursue this dream that I've got of one day opening my own gym, getting this charity off the ground, and just being as positive and spreading, I know it sounds a bit cheesy, spreading as much love as I possibly can, and being a better fucking human than I was yesterday. No. In a year's time, I'd love for me to have the conversation, do you know what? I'm even happier. I'm even in a better place. I've got a better relationship with my son, better relationship with my partner, and I'm just in a really good mental place, and I'm grateful for that. Well, grateful for that.
Nice one.
Yeah. Buzzing, mate.
Job done.
Yeah. Thank you, mate. Buzzing.
Cool.
Love that.
Nice.
Love that. Well enjoyed that. Yeah, well enjoyed that. Thank you. Well